What's up, everybody? My name is Kason. Welcome back to the WDL. This is our War of the Visions Draft League Season 2 Playoffs Semifinals. That's right, we are down to our top 4 teams from the regular season. We started off with 20 different teams here in this format, and we are down to 4. This is the best of the best left remaining here. We've got 4 teams. The Heinler 1 seed, Materia Hunters, coached by Mccrane, versus the Heinler 3 seed, the Fire Ferrets, coached by Turinbar. And on the other side of the bracket, we've got the Rundal 1 seed, the Gnostics, coached by Coppola, versus the Rock Boys, coached by Ram 9. Should be 2 really awesome best of 5s for you guys today. But before we get into the matches, I just wanted to say a huge thank you and shout out to the YouTube members on the channel. We have 5 members of the channel, which I am so appreciative for. These are people who are actually spending some of their hard-earned money to try and make this content happen and support it and all that stuff. And I just literally cannot explain how much this means to me, to you 5 who are doing this and supporting the channel and stuff like that. It just means the absolute world to me. So Turinbar, Numero 80, Ram 9, Surf Taco, and Sand Rooster, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. With this out of the way though, let's look at these best of 5s and get into them. All right guys, the first series that we have for you today on the left side here, we've got Ram 9 of the Guild Howl, coach of the Rock Boys, versus Coppola of the Guild Galleon, coach of the Gnostics. The Heinler 2 seed versus Rundal 1 seed. Both had a couple of really good series last week where they both won 3-1 against their opponent. Looking at the rosters here, we've got some really interesting aspects on Ram 9 side. We've got Perrine, an absolute beast of a 100 cost strike unit. A lot of mage power coming out from that Renan 90 cost. He has now got his 140 upgrade, is looking very solid, as well as Kilfei at 70. Having that barrier and just some of that extra bulk only at 70 cost, she really puts in a lot of work as a kind of lower cost UR unit. We can't forget about Freyevia as an absolute beast of a magic tank. All of those units put on a show last week. And he's also got Victoria. Ram 9 is known as kind of an ice player, or at least was during the regular season, and Victoria with a 2-0 game record last week. Would not be surprised to see any action coming out from her. On the right side for Coppola, we saw one team and one team only. We saw King of Leonis Mont, we saw Orlando, and Slime. Basically, Coppola said, hey, Dr. Dickhead, I don't think you have an answer for this team. I'm just going to run it into the ground. That's what he did, and he won it 3-1. I would not be surprised to see some different stuff come out here, though, especially because King of Leonis Mont is insanely weak to Perrine. He's weak to water, he's weak to strike. Perrine will destroy him. So whether or not we'll see him, I don't know. There's a lot of different options, but I could see him doing at least some sort of switch up. He's got an aspect like Garvel with Sweetheart Salir, pulling off some glove synergy with Slime. He could also maybe do a light comp with Lucio and Thancred. I know what you guys are thinking. Thancred at 90 cost, are you really going to play him? Trust me, I've seen Coppola crush some people with Thancred. And at 90 costs, honestly, I would not be shocked to see it. So a lot of really interesting options for both of these teams. And let's jump into this series and see who won. The first game of the semifinals, guys, is none other than Coppola's Lucio on the front screen here versus Ram 9 hovering Shell. So some time mage work coming out from Ram 9 here, not going a triple UR team. Looks like he's going to try and support one of his higher cost options. I did see a high magic stat coming out from his side though, so would not be surprised to see that Renan here. But who is the third unit is the question. And for Coppola, is it also Thancred? Yes, it is. Okay, so it is Lucio, Thancred, Slime versus Ram 9's Kilfei, Renan, and Shell. So Shell, what has she got in store for us today? Is it haste? Is it quicken? What are we going to see here? This is probably the barrier coming out from Ram 9's Renan here, trying to get some bulk going. Keenblade, an absolute staple of Coppola's teams, comes out from Lucio. He's going to basically get CT up for the whole party and walk forward. Thancred, what's going to come out from him though? Zombie transformation. You can see Thancred rocking a healthy 10,500 HP stat. Not bad at all. I'm excited to see what he can do though. Accelerate comes out from the Slime. Again, just trying to make this team as fast as it can possibly be. And Kilfei, I believe, is going to get her shield online as well here. These should be what these channels are. Lightning Blessing, yes sir. Physical and Magic Shield, 3 hits. Shield of Staves, only a physical shield, but it does also give unit attack resist up, and I will say the magic shield's not really going to matter. You really only need a physical against this team. I think that was the Light's Blessing coming out from Lucio. I looked away for a split second here, but it looks like Shell is just going to haste the entire team. She goes for herself first, making sure that she can, basically speed up everybody else more efficiently because she can move quicker. as I think Thankard got his own barrier online actually. Oomph comes out from the Slime, getting attack up. Not a buff I see from Slime very often. He normally goes for either that agility or some sort of TMR buff, depending on what you're running on him. But 2 units hasted up on Ram 9 side, and I think shortly enough we're going to see a third, but some HP absorb and defense up, as well as a couple other buffs coming on for Kilfei. I think is going to be very effective against this full physical team coming out from Coppola. I say full physical, Slime can deal some damage. Lucio's going to enter the fight though. He's going to start it off. He's going to go for a massive limit break, Luminous Grace. This drops light resistance, so whatever follow-up Thankard will have will do more damage, but how much is this going to do? It's going to be very telling. Not a ton. Those barriers putting in a ton of work on Ram 9 side. What can Thankard do? Nothing, it looks like. I think he has Dragoon sub job. I'm not sure if he has horizontal jump or if he's even running Dragoon sub. That is some really solid damage coming out from Ram 9's Renan though. With that new 140 upgrade, with that Ball Lightning Plus or whatever it's called, basically being 2 single target abilities, does a ton of damage. This is one of the coolest limit break animations in the game. Stave Collector just sends Lucio flying through the sky, 6,300 damage, absolutely destroys him, and honestly Ram 9 looking very, very impressive in this game 1. I said at the beginning of the playoff redraft that I thought Ram 9 had one of the strongest teams, and it looks like in this first battle he's showing it. However, Slime does have a way to revive people, so how much damage can Renan do to Thankard here? He goes for his own limit break, another absolutely disgustingly cool limit break animation. We've seen 3 limit breaks already, one-shots the Slime, gets him down to his courage, 6,000 on a Thankard, but again, he does have a very healthy HP stat. He's still alive. It is finally your time to shine, Thankard. What can you do, buddy? Blasting Zone 2, it's a good chunk of damage, but it's not enough to one-shot the shell, and regen also coming out from Kilfei and the slow counter. That is not what you like to see on Coppola's side. Double counters proccing, and just not enough damage. And this is one of the coolest things about Kilfei and why she is so damn good. You can use this limit break a second time, removes re-raise. That zombie mask just doing nothing for him at this point. And honestly, an absolutely banger of a showcase coming out from Ram 9 in this first game. Knight's Blessing just to top him off to basically get a perfect 3-0 health bar, it looks like. Hustle Dance +1's going to come out. Slime's going to heal himself here, but there's no way. I mean, Kilfei and Renan are going to follow this up right back to back. I say that. Staff of Augmentation comes up. You're telling me that she couldn't reach the Slime? That is very interesting. She doesn't have a skill that's single target that can reach there? I don't know, but Sky Splitting Thunderstrike removes courage. It doesn't actually, or it doesn't remove it. It procs the courage. Shell, do you have damage spells on? No, she does not. She cannot finish off this 1 health Slime. Renan, go hit him with your stick, please. 276 damage. That is a game 1 victory for Ram 9 here. So now you have to wonder, what are the adjustments coming out from Coppola's sides in game 2? Do you expect to see this same exact light team? If you do, I think you can either, need to change some skills, some TMRs. If Thankard has any more range, you need to somehow get him to do that, because he only got one. I mean, both Lucio and Thankard only got 1 attack off in that entire fight. That is a pretty rough thing. So does he have an answer to this double mage, haste support in the back that Ram 9's bringing? Let's jump into game 2 and find out. Game number 2, you guys, and Coppola is still hovering that Lucio. It looks like he's probably bringing the same team as game number 1. He sees some sort of angle here, but it looks like there is a switch up from Ram 9. So was this a call by Coppola saying that Ram 9 would switch his team? Fryevia is definitely more of an effective magic tank than physical tank, so I could see Lucio and Thankard being able to do more damage to her than last time. But let's jump into the game and find out here. Pretty mixed attack and magic stat coming out from Ram 9 here, and I wonder if this is the triple UR squad, maybe Fryevia, Victoria, and another magic dealer. Just based on the attack and magic stat, that would be my first guess, but it's honestly kind of hard to figure out there. We see Fryevia in slot 1. It is. So yeah, so Kilfei, Victoria, Fryevia, and this is one of the staples of Ram 9's success throughout the regular season, is that he brought out a lot of triple UR teams, really utilizing some of those stronger, 70 cost units. He had Miranda during the regular season, he had Kilfei just popping off, and he continues to try and utilize this strategy here, but Coppola is going to try and make a stand in this game too, and say not so fast. So the zombie transformation coming out again from Thankard. The re-raise did not really do anything for him last time because Kilfe was able to remove it. Is she going to be able to remove it again this game? We'll have to find out here. 9,000 health rocking on Ram 9's Kilfe. He's going to channel the barrier on Kilfe, a track barrier. Speaking of which, everybody's just shielding up in this business. Victoria already has her 100% damage one-time shield online. So basically every unit on that side is shielded, but I will note that Fryavia's shield is only magic damage, so it really doesn't matter unless slime is hitting her. Superbolide too, though, AP cost rate down and gets his barrier up as well. Lots of barriers on this map right now, and the oomph buff comes out again. I am very curious. This is no switch ups, at least from what I can see at all from Coppola's team. It looks like the exact same squad just running it again. You have to wonder if he, changed any sort of abilities or anything like that. So, Fryavia, what do you got here? Victoria's up in the air. How much damage is this going to do? Shattering Dive obliterates Slime's health bar, but he does manage to hang on with that courage. Should be able to heal himself up when he gets back online. And this is the limit break right out of the gate again from Lucio. The only downside for Coppola is it's only hitting the tank, but this should still do a good chunk of damage, I would imagine. 3628, actually less than I would have anticipated, but Lucio's still rocking 36 AP. He should still be able to go again. Blasting Zone 2 pops the 100% health shield on Victoria, a good chunk onto the Fryavia, to be honest. Thancred coming in and putting in some work here, but now 3 units in a row are going to go for Ram 9. So what can Victoria do? She's not going for the charm. She's going to jump up in the air. Is this an AoE? Or is this a single target ability? Knight's Blessing from Fryavia. This is one of the reasons why she's so strong. She has a supportive mindset, and ooh, that is a good chunk. One-shotting again the slime, getting him back to his courage, doing a little bit of chip to the other 2 units. But here comes the light squad. They're going to go back-to-back here. Lucio and then Thancred. Scintillating Eclipse comes out, 3679, but that Knight's Blessing, now the barrier on her is also physical. You need to try and kill this Fryavia here. Blasting Zone 6000 takes out the tank. It is now a 3-2 advantage for Coppola here, but Victoria, if she pops Slime before he's able to heal, it might be pretty tough. Hazard Break, big old AoE, takes out the Slime, a really sizable chunk to both of Coppola's units here, and Kilfe's up next. What does the casting time look like? Magic Reflex. I didn't even realize that Thancred had that in his kit. He does have Red Mage sub. I forgot about that. Shadow Flare is going to come out. Not a ton of damage. Heals are up a little bit, but I think she was full anyway. Lucio only has 14 AP though. If he had more, maybe he could AoE them down. Crescentic Break's going to do a good chunk to Victoria. Thancred, you've got to take out one of them here. Blasting Zone 2 does get the kill. Kilfe is still very healthy though, but looking at the turn order, Lucio is next. Dude, you got to buff or something and get out of the way for the AoE. He's going to get the standard attack. Regenerator pops up on Kilfe. Can she find an AoE here? They're pretty spread out. I don't know if Energy Blaster has this range, but no, she goes for Shadow Flare again. The VC ability, can she land a kill on either one of these two? She gets it on Lucio, but Thancred is next. 8,000 health. Dude, Thancred, one of the first ever 100 cost units in the game, is sitting there with no AP. He only generates 9 on that attack, and you have to imagine Kilfe is going to be able to take him out right here. Magic Reflex. Another Magic Reflex. Stave Collector is going to come out, but the thing is, I think the way that this ability works, the re-raise is probably still going to be removed. Yes, it is. So he loses his re-raise even though it doesn't hit, so it's kind of like killing him once still. 21 AP, Keen Edge, a nice little chain, and this is going to come down. Does he get one more reflex? He's going to need it here. Energy Blaster comes out, 6512, and that's enough. The fact that the re-raise takes him, or like comes off even when the damage doesn't go through, was absolutely massive for Ram 9. And now Coppola is against the wall here on a 2-0 deficit. You have to imagine now that he's probably going to, astray from this light team. He tried his best in these first 2 games, but can you go down 3-0 swinging with the light squad? I feel like there's some other adjustment here. Does he go back to his Kingmont Orlandu Slime team? Does he try the Glove team with Sweetheart Salir and Garvel or something like that? He's also got a Dark squad with, I think, Dark Fina and Garvel. We'll have to see what he busts out for Game 3, but he's going to have to win 3 games in a row to claim his spot in the finals, as Ram 9 is only 1 game away from making it there. Let's jump into Game 3. All right, guys, game number 3 on the left side. Coppola's switching it up. He's going with Sosha with a 3,600 magic stat. Sosha being 40 cost tells me with 180 cost to play with, this is probably the double dark magic squad of Garvel and Dark Fina. For Ram 9, very healthy magic stat and Shell showing in slot 1. My guess is this is probably the game 1 comp that he brought out with that Renan and Kilfei. Kilfei has been a staple of this series so far, putting in an absolute shit ton of work. But Coppola, can he bring it to a game 4 and start to get a little momentum here? The double dark magic squad is what I anticipate here. Yes, it is. It is Dark Fina, Garvel, and Sosha. So Sosha being 40 cost allows him to play these two really strong magic damage dealers together. Enfer Wall is going to come out, Light and Dark Resist, gets your Spirit Piercing rate up. Obviously the Light and Dark Resist not going to matter a whole lot. The only real damage there that Ram 9 can put out is maybe a Holy from Kilfei, but I don't anticipate that. Garvel's going to do his standard Greater Chi Barrier, absolutely fantastic first turn buff to get his barrier online, as well as some crit evasion. And we've seen this strategy before from Ram 9. This is barriers coming out, and Ram 9, in case you guys don't know, you can turn on or off abilities in the screen when you see your opponent. That is one of the only things that you can change. But he says, hey, that's a massive magic stat. I'm going to turn off my physical barrier. I'm going to get my magic barrier going. So Kilfei has a big old magic shield with her Spellblade subjob. I believe it is a 70% barrier. That is going to nullify a lot of this unless they can break it. Dark Fina's Limit Break does have a 4-hit chain, so that is probably their best method of getting around it. We'll have to see if she's going to get an opportunity. Curse of the Serpent comes out, so she's got re-raise, but we've seen Kilfei strip re-raise before. It has not been the most effective versus Ram 9 squad here. As haste on haste on haste comes out from Ram 9, but that is the zombie TMR on Renan, and there is no re-raise strip on Coppola's team, so that might be a slight advantage for Ram 9 here, as everybody's going to start slowly walking towards the fight. Sosha's going to go Dragon's Might. The Protect buff really not going to do a lot, as there is basically just magic coming out from Ram 9 side, but she does get some nice offensive buffs online as well, as now the entire Ram 9 team is hasted up and the fight should finally start here. Dark Fina should be in range. What is she going to go for? She's casting an ability. Renan is actually going to go before this cast goes off, and Garvel is channeling a spell. That is not something I see very often. Ball Lightning plus, oh my god. I don't know what Garvel was channeling, but he is immediately destroyed by Renan. Dystopia comes out, the stop does not land, and holy shit, this looks really one-sided for Ram 9 immediately. He says, dude, I don't want to screw around with a game 4 or 5. I want to try and end this in 3, but the magic reflex from Garvel looks pretty massive. Energy Blaster comes out. This is going to proc the re-raise from Dark Fina, but looking at the turn order, this is a spell coming out from Shell. Is it a haste? Yes, it is, but Renan's going to go next, and if he can do... No, Sosha goes next. Is there any way you can get rid of Renan? I mean, he still has re-raise online too. You have to imagine Renan's going to be able to do that double single target ability and remove both of them again. You need to get a magic reflex and a miracle. It's literally just a miracle. That's all I can say. The double kill comes from Renan. Absolute MVP in this match here coming out from Renan. I mean, excellent showcase from Ram 9. And he is going to punch his ticket into the grand finals of the Season 2 WDL with an absolutely beautiful limit break coming out from Kilfei, doing a massive chunk. They are slowly going to take down this poor 40 cost Sosha. It is just a 40 cost Sosha in a dream at this point, and Renan says, oh no, Kilfei's actually going to lap him. She says, hey, you had your fun. I'll take this kill with the Earth Staff. 4,300 damage against the Sosha. CT down. Her CT is 0, and she is dead. Awesome series. Unfortunately, it was only 3 games. I like to see 4 games or 5 game series, but honestly, hats off to Ram 9. He put down an excellent showcase here. Showed how strong his playoff team is here. Renan and Kilfei just both putting in tons and tons of work here. Victoria had her moments as well. And Coppola, he is an absolutely incredible player, but honestly, this feels a little bit like a team diff. I think the roster drafted by Ram 9 was just so damn exceptional. I think he had an edge in this series, and he showed it in this 3 games. Who is he going to go up against in the grand finals, though, is now the question. We're going to jump into the other series in between Mccrane and Turinbar to see who our other grand finalist is. The second series for you guys today is Mccrane of the guild Hydra, coach of the Materia Hunters, versus Turinbar of the guild Get Swifty, coach of the Fire Ferrets. Two really awesome players and contenders, and two really awesome people. The winner of this will face Ram9 and the Rock Boys in the grand finals. So let's take a look at this matchup preview. First of all, on Mccrane's side, he's got a couple of really nice lightning powerhouses with Esther and Cloud. He can use both of them together to pair up with Severo, or he can mix and match with something like a Gargus 70 cost magic threat, Moraga 70 cost physical tank, or the 60 cost Marial magic tank, who recently got some really nice 140 upgrades, along with Kadia also getting some nice 140 upgrades. So we could see a combination of any of those units come out. And on the Fire Ferret side for Turinbar, he's got Halloween Lucia, he's got Joker, and those two mechs, words are really difficult. And those two match up really well with Murmur, the 40 cost unit. She can provide haste with her fast cast ability, as well as just some bulkiness and extra DPS and healing from the back. Snow is a really nice tank option, Terra a very good magic damage dealer, and Glaciella and Aerith have been very impressive as 80 costers throughout the season. A number of really awesome options from either side of the table here, so I'm curious to see what these guys bring out. I'm expecting a banger of a series, and let's jump into game one. All right, guys, game number one of this series, we've got Mccrane on the left side hovering a 3,700 magic stat with Gargus as the slot 1 unit, and Turinbar with 3,000 magic, 2,100 attack, and Halloween Lucia first. This tells me that very likely from Turinbar it is that double dark squad with a Murmur in the back. With this mixed stat, though, from Mccrane, this could be a number of options. So it ends up being the Kadia and Esther, and it is that double dark squad from Turinbar. I like this from Mccrane here in game one, as We Have to Survive comes out from Joker, giving a physical and magic health shield and protect to everybody. I imagine Lucia is going to go for AoE buff. Yes, area attack resist gives her a physical health shield. But I like this lineup for Mccrane because of two reasons. Esther does have a physical barrier break in her kit, which could potentially get through that Halloween Lucia, as she pops Shell from the Midsummer Refreshment. That is Summer Kill Phase TMR. And obviously Gargus, with his magic damage as he uses Black Rose Helen in TMR, can do a lot to Halloween Lucia. We'll have to see what happens in this matchup here. So Kadia, what is she going to go for? Last week it was the dual veil, Dark and Earth. It is this again, Dark and Earth, and this is actually really nice against this setup, as every unit on the other team for Turinbar is Dark or Earth. Fast cast comes out from Murmur, getting haste and cast time down for Halloween Lucia, and Padfoot for Joker. So this basically allows them to target Halloween Lucia, which is probably better for Turinbar, and both big damage dealers are hasted up. A very nice start from Turinbar. Immortal Spirit, though, going to proc that Courage. This is really important, especially if Halloween Lucia does not end up using her limit break for that follow-up attack. Can buy Esther another turn. Sweet support, literally the Bolts TMR coming out, speeding up the entire party. And Gargus just going to walk forward. So he only has one buff online. Gargus, one of his only downfalls is he really doesn't have very many good buffs to use, as Maiming Slash is going to drop the agility. So you can see with that crit, that is a Thornlet equipped to Joker coming out from Turinbar, dropping defense piercing rate. I actually didn't even realize that Halloween Lucia has that in her kit, but that is a very nice tech, as Murmur's going to haste herself, but she's sitting pretty far away from the fight. Gargus should be able to find a good chunk of damage on Halloween Lucia. Windlash comes out. That is 6,000. Esther, if you have your barrier break, you might be able to kill her right here. It is Surging Storm. It's going to break it, but only 1460, as she is very bulky, especially with that protect coming out from Joker. Swift Strike going to do a good chunk of AoE damage. Esther is actually quite low at this moment, as Kadia is still hanging on pretty healthy. But Kadia, can she reach a heal onto the Esther? We saw her do a ton of healing last week against Surf Taco's team. Curative Prayer comes out, 4483, so that healing power down, actually doing a nice bit of work here, as you can't heal Esther to full. Flare comes out and it goes onto the Gargus, 8924. Gargus is going to drop, and Turinbar is out to an early 3v2 lead here. Swift Strike, is this enough to kill Esther? No, it's certainly not. She is very bulky versus physical. 3,000 damage comes out. Esther, can you finally get rid of this Lucia, though? She is just barely hanging on by a thread. Bolting Slice comes out. 4,200 damage. I think that just got dodged by Joker. Esther is not known as the most accurate unit in the world, and Joker, it looks like, is built at least with some luck runes, but might even have some more evasion in his kit. Curative Prayer comes out, though. It looks like the healing power down has finally faded away, as a full heal comes out onto Esther. 6,200, though, from the flare from Murmur. Joker out of AP. He's going to follow it up. Esther's hanging on with 1900 health here. Stormbrand comes out 3691. I don't know. She's only sitting with 20 AP, and Murmur's probably channeling another flare here. Katia, you need to get a massive heal in time. Whose casting time is going to finish first? It's going to be Murmur, and no, it's Akira. I think that is good for Mccrane, as the flare would have likely spelled the end of this fight. Surging Storm comes out. 9,000 is enough to take out Joker. It's over 9,000. All right, anyway, so she kills the Joker. It is now a 2v1. And this channel going to come up from Katia. What is it going to be? Flare did a lot of damage from Murmur, but I don't think it's enough to one-shot the Esther. If it is, she might have a chance, but she's 8,200 health. Just channeled 40 AP from that crit, actually. That is incredible. Is this AP runes coming up from Mccrane? I'm actually really curious on that, because that was a ton of AP generated. As a large chunk of damage comes out from the flare, it's very nice. Katia, not in range to get a heal, goes height, 3 Holy Knights Purge, and actually Murmur's going to go next. Can she kill this Esther? I mean, I think this fight is over. Esther's going to go next. Stormbrand 36-34, and she's going to take it. And game 1 victory goes to Mccrane. So a very, very close game 1 here. Honestly, the Esther having the barrier break in the kit is a very, very nice option here for Mccrane. Obviously, Halloween Lucia is much better against physical than she is in magic. So Gargus still brought the pain. But what is the adjustment coming out from Turinbar in game 2? What does he decide to switch this up as? Let's go and find out. All right, guys, the second game of this series, and we have Mccrane's Gargus still on the left side with that exact same magic stat. And the stats coming out from Turinbar look eerily similar too. Is this an exact same run back as game 1? Turinbar, normally when this happens, if he does this, he switches some sort of like TMR or skill or something like that. I can't imagine he just runs it back the exact same way. So I'll have to look out for what kind of switch up it is, as this is the exact same units that we saw in game 1 from both sides. So Mccrane getting the game 1 win. What is the adjustment? So Joker going to go with the exact same buff he started with. We'll have to keep an eye out what the changes are. This looks like maybe a slightly different position change for Mccrane. I'm not 100% certain of that. I don't remember exactly the turn 1 as the same 2 initial buffs coming out from Turinbar, but is there going to be a different TMR coming out from him? We'll have to find out. This is the Black Rose Holiday TMR, and yeah, I think Gargus is slightly further back than he was last time, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because Katia was able to find this dual Veil Dark on Earth on everybody. I'm not sure she's going to be able to do that. So sweet support comes out from Murmur, getting the agility up on the entire party. And I take it back, she still is able to find that AoE, but they are not clumped up the same way. So the only adjustment I see is from Mccrane, but that is another adjustment. Turinbar said, hey, I didn't have enough AP last time, and that's why I lost. As Zombie TMR comes out from Halloween Lucia and Bells comes out from Joker. I believe that is 2 different TMRs from game 1. I know that Joker was running the Pissarro TMR last time. So what is the change here? Esther's going to walk forward, sweet support again. So looking very similar from Mccrane's side other than the position changes. But Gargus I don't think should have any other buffs. It's okay, he's just going to save a little CT for himself. This should be a fast cast. Who is it going to be on though? I don't remember who the slot 1 unit was. I think it was Halloween Lucia. Swift Strike going to come out and do 3,300, dropping defense. And I did not see an agility down here, so this might be a gear adjustment also coming out from Turinbar, because last time it dropped agility. I don't know if he's still running Thornlet on that Joker, but a hasted up Halloween Lucia is going to do an absolute ton of damage to Esther here. I take that back. That only did 3,175. I can't believe that. Esther is so weak to magic. She soaked that like crazy. Mccrane must have some really nice anti-magic VC synergy going, as Windlash comes out, does a good chunk to Halloween Lucia. And does Mccrane just have Turinbar's number here? We're going to have to find out. Esther could not take her out in the next turn last time, but the hate down is not there, so she actually targets Joker. So maybe this is partially Turinbar's strategy too, saying, hey, I need to keep Halloween Lucia alive. Having hate down on Joker might be the difference. Maiming Slash comes out, procs Courage on Esther. And if Murmur can get a big Cura here, no, she doesn't. She doesn't even heal. I can't believe that. He either has Cura turned off or her heal threshold is insanely low. Maybe they're out of range. I'm not entirely sure, but Curses comes in 3s. That is going to break the Black Rose Helena TMR that Gargus has. An Arcane Shot. Wow, 4,400 damage. That was an incredible turn of events here from Halloween Lucia. Just absolutely obliterating the Gargus. Stormbrand is going to miss. It's going to get dodged again from Joker. So he says, hey, screw the hate down. Let's make Esther try and hit Joker and just miss the attacks. A Guion comes out for 3,400, and this looks, I would say, a lot better for Turinbar compared to last time. Toad's Curse, 4,754 is enough to take the kill. We've seen Katia put on a show before last week against Surf Tackle, but she's going to have to do it again, and it looks like she's not even going to go for the full life. She goes for Holy Knight's Purge, gets the kill on Lucia, but she does have re-raise, and now looking at the turn order, it looks like the entire team is going to go before Katia, and Katia, you're a good unit, or at least Mccrane has shown you to be, but this looks like it is all over in game 2 here. So we are guaranteed at least a 4-game series, which is very, very exciting to see. Maiming Slash comes out, dropping that healing power and a good chunk of damage. Halloween Lucia should be able to clean this up, and she's just going to drop the Esther on her. Says, Bahamut, go ahead and finish this off. I don't want to waste my precious AP that I've been saving. But we get to see this awesome Esper animation. So for Mccrane here, now after you are likely about to drop to this Esper and lose game 2, it's going to be 1-1. What is the adjustment? Do you expect Turinbar to bring out this exact same team, as it did seem to work quite well for him in game 2 after the TMR adjustments and the gear adjustments? Do you bring out a separate team, or do you try and run this back again and switch up your own gear? We're gonna have to find out and jump into game 3. Third game of this series, guys, and a couple of very familiar slot 1 units. It looks like the exact same team from Turinbar, at least the exact same stats, but Mccrane's side, he has Gargus, but he had around 3,700 magic last time. He had dual magic threats. 2,100 attack is an upgrade in that department. So I'm curious what the switch up here is. I don't think this is Esther Katia. This seems like it is something different. So we'll have to find out what he ended up going with here. What is the option? So he goes Gargus, Cloud, and Mariol. And it looks like the same squad coming out from Turinbar with the Double Dark and the Murmur. So he says, hey, Katia not doing enough work in this matchup. I'm just going to go with a big old 140 tank, try and hopefully soak up the damage up from the other side. Concentration buff's going to come out from Cloud, getting agility up in the entire team, gets his own defense piercing rate going as well. As basically the same buff rotation coming out from Turinbar, but his positioning is slightly different. Looks like he's trying to back up the squad a little bit, and this is probably intentionally to try and get Murmur to make sure to get haste off on everybody. He removed the Passaro TMR last time, so he didn't have as much haste. So he said, hey, that was a good adjustment, but I still want everybody to be fast. And he actually goes Boon of the Lion instead of Sweet Support. So opting for some AoE resist bulk instead of the agility as Bells comes online for Joker. So it looks like the rest of the stuff is pretty much the exact same coming out from him. Cloud, what is he going to go? Momentum. This is a brand new TMR. This is King Bradley's TMR. So you can tell that Mccrane pulled for him. Got that haste up and the reaction block rate. Very, very nice tech here. Gargus is going to take one step forward. This positioning is beautiful for Mccrane, though, as Mariol is way out in front, and the other two are not in range for any AoE at the moment. Jamming Thrust coming out from Murmur, only 840 damage. And this Mariol, with her 140 upgrades, has 10 initial hate, so I have to keep track of that to see how that 140 upgrade paid off for her. She now essentially has 8 hate left, and Cloud, Punisher mode, ups his AoE resist. He's going to need it because he just walked right next to the tank for absolutely no reason. Riot Gun's going to come out here. How much damage is it going to do? I imagine Cloud soaks this decently well with his AoE resist. Yes, he does. Only 1,800 on the crit. Gets his own defensive piercing rate up. And Gargus should be able to find a big AoE. Windlash comes out. 5140 almost kills the Halloween Lucia. She is barely hanging on, but she managed to get the limit break out. And this could be pretty big. How much damage is this going to do? 1185. Arcane shot almost 3k though. So that tells me there's probably a ton of dark resist on Mariol, as she took that follow-up attack way worse than she took the limit break. Mind Crusher actually doing quite a bit of damage here. Kills Lucia for the first time, and that makes me wonder too, is her follow-up attack now gone now that she has died? It doesn't matter because her entire life bar is gone, as Triple Slash removes her from the fight from Mccrane's Cloud here, and Mccrane looking like he is in a very advantageous spot here to try and take this game 3 victory. Murmur, is she going to go for damage or is she going to go for a heal? She goes Jamming Thrust, 5,800 on the Cloud, and not so fast. Turinbar says, I might be able to still pull this off. Gargus, what does the casting time look like? Arrow, it is instant. Takes out the Joker, and now this should be all but over. Magic Reflex, though, is still always on the table. Mind Crusher comes out. Murmur can probably take out this Marial here. It'll become a 1v1, but Gargus has the elemental advantage. The one thing I will say, though, is that Gargus doesn't have a ton of magic attack resist piercing in his kit. She can build a lot of magic attack resistance as the Magic Reflex comes out. Aeroga Disperser misses. This is definitely Gargus favored, but it is not technically over. Jamming Thrust only doing 1374, but it ups her spirit. Could she Magic Reflex enough or maybe live long enough? Aeroga Disperser is going to hit. Yeah, 6600 is just too much, even with the elemental advantage. I was going to say Murmur can build up a ton of magic attack resist, but it's not going to matter. Gargus is just going to lap her and probably finish off with an arrow. 6k. Mccrane, taking the game 3 victory, has now put himself at game point going into game 4 here. I did not mean to click that. That is the same game over again. But Turinbar, what is the switch up? So he's brought the Dark Squad in all 3 games. Does he finally switch to something else in game 4 here? As it looks like the Marial adjustment was very, very good by Mccrane. Let's jump into the 4th game and see if Mccrane can finish Turinbar off or if Turinbar can bring it to a game 5. All right, guys, game number 4, and Turinbar has changed up his strategy. He has gone with Snow with a 3,500 attack stat. Mccrane looking like he's probably brought the same team as game 3. So Turinbar says, hey man, I am trying to make the finals for the 2nd consecutive time. I'm not just going to lay down with this dark team. I'm bringing out my big boy Snow, who we have not seen yet from Turinbar in the playoffs. The elemental advantage over the Gargus, and I will say double ice versus Gargus seems pretty threatening for Mccrane. Turinbar might have made a really nice call here. Reprieve comes out from Snow, so going to get that courage right out of the gate on the tank. And what does Cloud go for? Concentration, just like last time. So it looks like pretty much the exact same buff rotation for Mccrane. I will say these 2 players flip sides, but I think their starting position is basically the same for Mccrane. Momentum comes out from Turinbar, so it looks like both players pulled for King Bradley this week and leveled him up quickly enough to get that TMR on their team, as McLeod is hasted up with some reaction block rate. I believe that was the Black Rose Helena TMR on Gargus, as Keen Blade from Marial is going to give a ton of CT to the team and get her way out in front. Frostweave Vivification, I think this is Velus's TMR, giving some AP to everybody here, as there is the Bradley TMR. I think this is a TMR we're going to see quite a bit in the future in PvP. It is a very nice haste accessory that you can use on basically everyone. Hate up onto Marial, so she has absolute tons of hate right now, but McLeod looking like a huge adjustment coming up from Turinbar here. 5,500 damage on the Marial is very, very nice. Close call. Now, this Snow is going to be incredibly hard to remove. He has 11,000 health, he has courage, and he has a massive self-heal. This is basically like trying to kill a tank with 18k HP. It's going to be brutal here, but if anybody can do it, it is probably Cloud. Ceiling Thrust, 2,900, and they're whittling down this tank quite quickly. I don't think Mccrane... Gargus can't even reach. Mccrane did not want this to happen before they entered the fight, and the tank is gone. What an adjustment by Turinbar here. Cloud is going to go next, though. Can he find a massive AoE with a triple slash? He's going to go for it. That's going to remove McLeod. He is now gone. It is now down to a 2v2. And the big question on the table here, Smite 2 comes out and removes haste, is Reflex for Cloud. Can he reflex Adelard? Because I imagine he goes for a Ceiling Thrust. That's going to deal a ton of damage if it comes out, while they try and whittle through the tank of Snow. 4,700 from the Flare, not bad at all. But here's the Ceiling Thrust. It does not get reflex, and that is going to destroy Cloud. Cloud has tremendous AoE resist, but his unit resist is not on that same level. Smite 2 almost one-shots the Gargus. And we've seen Gargus pull off some crazy stuff before, but you can't imagine there's any world where he can get this done. Snow still has his courage online, so even if this flare procs it, he's just going to heal back up very, very highly. There he goes, 8,000 more health. And my goodness, Ceiling Thrust is going to... That just missed. Gargus just dodged Adelard. I don't know what is happening right now, guys, but 2,400 damage comes out from the punch to the back of the head from Snow, and we are going to a game 5. So for all the marbles here to make the grand finals, Turinbar and Mccrane, 2 absolutely excellent players with excellent teams, are going to a 5th game. Mccrane won game 1 and 3, Turinbar won game 2 and 4. But who's going to take it in game 5 to face Ram 9 in the finals? Let's jump into the last game and find out. All right, guys, the final game of this series, and we have a very familiar team coming out from Turinbar. He went game 4 to the Snow McCloud Adelard team, and it did very, very well. But I think he expected some sort of adjustment from Mccrane, and it looks like he's going right back to his old reliable Dark team. This team is 1-2 in this series, though. Is this the right move? As Gargus is still there for Mccrane, who is a huge threat to Halloween Lucia. But what is the team from Gargus? These are not familiar attack and magic stats, which tells me this is probably something new from Mccrane, or at least a bunch of different vision and gear adjustments. What is it in the final game of this series? That is a Yerma sighting. And that is a Glaciella from Turinbar, so it is not the exact same team from Turinbar. He swaps out the Joker, goes with Glaciella as the switch up, and Adelard is there instead of Murmur. This is the wild card coming out from Turinbar in the final game as momentum goes on to Glaciella, and I can't get enough. This is a Yerma sighting on Mccrane's team. Keep in mind the cost limit is 220. This team right now Mccrane is running is only 200 cost. He could have chosen to run Cloud instead of Yerma, and I will say I think Mccrane is probably wishing he had Cloud right now, seeing Glaciella on the other side, but I'm excited to see what this Yerma can do. First ever appearance in the WDL as Padfoot's going to come out from Gargus, Hate Down and Haste. And Heart of Flutter, the Sweetheart Ildira TMR, is very, very nice on your tank when you're trying to increase that movement. I love this tech from Mccrane here, though. He uses the TMR, but starts Mccrane Marial way in the back. So she uses this buff. She'll be able to jump over this platform next time, but she's not getting too far out in advance. As all these buffs are coming out from Turinbar's side, additional protection, I don't remember what that is called, from Halloween Lucia here. What has Yerma got, though? She's got tons of AP, pops Rebellious Spirit, so she has a lot of defense piercing rate, like a ton. Nimble movement comes out from Gargus, so he's got tons of movement as well. Spirit Barrier is going to be really nice for the Adelard and the Halloween Lucia. Glaciella's not going to give a shit about it, though. Stunning Thrust, 4200. The stun lands. I don't know what the chances of that are. Obviously, Mariel's faith is probably very high as the fast cast comes out from Adelard. Gargus, what do you have in store for us, though? Halloween Lucia is going to channel a spell. Also, there's a ton of channeling going on here as the fight starts to break out in this absolutely crazy game 5. Flare comes out. Glaciella, how well can she tank this? She is a tanky girl. 2614, she soaked that so well. Yerma, it is your time to shine. Your first time in the WDL. She goes for the limit break. Soaring Axe Slash. I've never once in my life seen this animation. Holy shit, what's going on? 4,500 damage. She gets unit attack resist, and she gets courage from that. I had no idea that was a thing. Surefire Burst does a ton of damage, but doesn't kill the Gargus. Is this an AoE coming out from Halloween Lucia, or does he live another turn? Because he has haste. It is not an AoE. Flare comes out. It's going to do a chunk to Marial. 1879, not enough to kill. She is still stunned. Gargus, though, is the cast time quick enough? He's going to go next. Is it an AoE? No, it's just an arrow to take out Glaciella. I'm sure Mccrane was hoping that for an AoE here, as Halloween Lucia is going to go for sudden end on the entire party. It's going to get a double kill. Yerma is the only one left standing on Mccrane's side, and she did a ton of damage to Glaciella, but I just don't see it. Halloween Lucia has a physical barrier online. Adelard is still up. Sealing Thrust, not enough to proc the Courage. So unless Halloween Lucia limit breaks here, she's going to live a turn. Yerma, do you have a double kill in your pocket? 136 AP. This is your time to try and get yourself into the grand finals. Conquering Blow does 11,000 damage to the Adelard, but there is a fully healthy Halloween Lucia there to clinch Turinbar a grand final spot. And Turinbar, down 2-1 in the series, wins game 4 and game 5 in oddly like reverse mirror fashion of what Surf Taco did to him in the grand finals last season. Honestly, absolutely banger series to both of these players. Hats off to both Mccrane and Turinbar. That was just excellent. Honestly, that was so damn good. And I say Cloud would have been better there. I'm not sure how much it really would have mattered because Yerma just absolutely deleted the Glaciella. But yeah, a banger series. I'm so excited for the grand finals, you guys. We've got two really awesome teams. Let's jump in and look at the bracket now that these series are over. Holy crap, you guys. 2 best of 5s in the books for the semifinals, and we have your 2 grand finalists. It is Turinbar, coach of the Fire Ferrets, versus Ram9, coach of the Rock Boys, the Heinler 2 and 3 seed. A rematch between the final week of the regular season. These two guys played each other in a awesome best of 3. Ram9 ended up besting Turinbar 2-1 in that best of 3. So Turinbar going to look for his revenge. He's going to look for his first title as he was so close last season. He was one game away. Can he get it done this season, or is the newcomer Ram9 and the Rock Boys going to take it away from him, trying to pull off his own anime run through the Get Swifty Guild, as he has already taken out Sand Rooster? He beat Jesus LBL in the regular season, I believe, and now he has the final boss, Turinbar of the Fire Ferrets. So some eerily similar things to Season 1 going on here in the Grand Finals for the playoffs. Turinbar eking out that incredibly close series with Mccrane, but Ram9 looking incredibly dominant versus Coppola. I really hope we get another 5-game series. I hope it's a banger. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But man, oh man, props to every player who played in this league all season, but props to Mccrane and Coppola also being the #1 seeds of their, respective divisions, beating everybody more than anyone else could, and honestly just doing really, really well throughout the regular season. So awesome performances by all 4 of these teams. I'm excited for the Grand Finals. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The Toilet Bowl Grand Finals should hopefully be coming out within the next handful of days. I'm not entirely sure when that's going to come out. Spike and I have played 2 games. We are doing a best of 5 for the Grand Finals, but I'm not entirely sure when we will finish our series yet. But keep an eye out for that. I'll try and get it up as soon as possible. I'm going to be live streaming Monday. Actually, this video is coming out on Tuesday morning, so it doesn't matter. So I probably live streamed last night. But that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Grand Finals hopefully should be out about a week from now. I'm excited for it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.